Hey there, Amanda here from Brave New Yoga. Today we are talking about the Psoas, what it is, where it is, and how it affects your posture, the comfort and stability of your back, and even your stress. We're going to do 2 yoga poses today to both strengthen and release your Psoas. It's going to be great. Stick around. Welcome to Yoga Tip Tuesday. Today we are talking about a common area of tightness for runners, walkers, and sitters alike. It's the psoas. The psoas, which is often referred to as the hip flexor, is a central player in running and walking and biking and sitting and any other activity that involves lifting your knee towards your torso. For most of us, this muscle is chronically tight. So today we are talking about what you can do to give your psoas some space. But what is the psoas? The psoas is a muscle that connects the torso and the leg. Let's take a closer look and just bear with me for the next few moments because it's going to get a little nerdy. The psoas originates from the lumbar vertebrae or the low back and forms a strip of muscle that's about as big as your wrist along each side of your spine. Now, looking at the front of the body, you'd have to actually remove the intestines, other digestive organs, as well as the female reproductive organs to be able to actually see the muscle in the very back of the abdomen. And it proceeds down and forward, crossing the outer edges of the pubis or the sides of the pelvis. Then it moves back again to attach to the thigh bone. So the psoas is essentially a deep-seated core muscle that connects the low back to the thigh bone. Now, it is an important muscle both on and off the mat. It affects posture, it helps stabilize the spine, and if it's out of balance, it can be a significant contributor to low back and pelvic pain, as well as stress. Now, because the psoas contracts to pull the thigh and the torso toward each other, it can often become short and tight if you spend most of your waking hours sitting, or if you repeatedly work them in activities like running or walking or cycling. And the result can be chronically clenching the psoas, which you actually may not feel at all or even be aware of, but it shows up as poor posture, as back pain, and even as increased anxiety. Now, practicing yoga postures that strengthen, stretch, and relax the psoas can free it from habitual holding patterns, improve your posture, and strengthen your ability to cope with and release stress. So let's talk about what you can actually do in your home practice to give your psoas a much needed break. First, I'm going to show you a yoga pose you can do to actually awaken and strengthen your psoas. Then we're going to stretch and release the psoas in a version of legs up the wall. Now, I encourage you to do both of these poses if you experience low back pain, if you have poor posture, or if you simply just run or walk frequently. And if you sit most of your day, then these poses are a must. So let's get to it. All you'll need is a chair, a blanket, and yourself. Join me standing. So the psoas is like every other kind of muscle in our body. It enjoys being worked, it enjoys being strengthened, and it also enjoys releasing and relaxing. So we're going to give the psoas both experiences today. We're going to start with strengthening. So we're going to come into a lunge. We're going to take the right foot forward and the left foot back. Now, when you come into the lunge, and I hope you're doing this with me, bring your feet as wide as your hips. And both feet, the toes, are pointing straight ahead. And this right knee, we're going to bend it as deeply as we can so that the knee is directly over the right ankle or slightly behind, okay? And then the ball of the left foot is pressing down into the mat. Not super important that this left knee is straight, but it's moving towards straight, and we're lifting this left thigh away from the floor. Arms are wherever for right now. So we're in the lunge, and the psoas is getting kind of the best of both worlds right now. We're strengthening it on the right side, and there's an active stretch happening on the left side. So we just stay and breathe and give that psoas an opportunity to just do some work. Now, it really, like all muscles, the psoas wants to be challenged. It wants to be worked. And so that's holding and breathing. but it's also moving. It's straightening the leg and bending the knee and straightening and bending. You just do this a few times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then just pause here and breathe. Good. So if you're working at your desk, you can get up, do this lunge, hold and breathe, straighten and bend, hold and breathe. You're going to do a lot of good for your psoas. So let's go to the other side. So left foot is forward, right leg is back. Feet are as wide as your hips, toes are pointing straight ahead. We've got the left knee over the left ankle. We have the right ball of the foot pressing back into the mat, right thighs lifting away from the floor. So now what's happening on this side? The left hip flexor, the left psoas is getting some work. The right side is getting some space, some opening. And it's considered an active stretch here because we're contracting in that area. So we just pause in here and we find our breath and take a few breaths in and a few breaths out. And then when you're ready to add a little bit more challenge, you straighten the left leg and then rebend it. Just do that a few times. Inhale to straighten and exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten and exhale to bend. Good, let's do it one more time. And then come back to the lunge and just pause here. Good. And maybe you begin to feel a little warmth in the legs, maybe even a little shakiness. That's all good stuff. That means there's some change happening. The body is changing in some way. And then you're going to step forward with that back foot. Okay, great work with that. Now we're going to come down to the floor and we're going to do some releasing work, some stretching work. Actually, it's just more about releasing and creating slack in the psoas so it really gets the opposite of what it's usually doing during the day. It's going to really come into a soft, gentle, sweet space, and that's where the good stuff is. So all you'll need for this next part is a chair or your couch, and let's go on the floor and do the next part of the pose. Thanks. Okay, now it's time to release your psoas. Now we always do the strength work first and then we do the releasing second. This is the best way to make deep and effective change in a particular area of your body. Today we're focusing on the psoas, so we're going to release the psoas with a really nice, restorative, restful type of practice, type of pose. So all you're going to need is a chair. Just grab a chair from your house, or you can use a couch. And either one is just fine. If you're using a chair, you're just going to bring your blanket to the chair just so you don't have the edges of the chair digging into your legs, okay? But that's just a comfort level, whatever works for you. And then all you're going to do is bring your calves onto your chair or your couch, roll yourself down onto your back, and you want to scoot your hips, your bottom forwards to bring the knees as much over the hips as you can. And this is the full pose. Isn't this amazing? And you just take your arms by your sides, shoulders down. So what we're doing here is we're bringing this psoas, this area right at your hip crease, to a slack position where it's not working, it's not contracting at all, it's not engaged in any way. It's actually doing the opposite. It's releasing. This is a wonderful place to come to after you've done that strength work, after you've been sitting all day, after you've been running, after you've been walking. It's a way to give your psoas the opposite of what it's been doing most of the day, which is contracting. So all you'll do is rest here on your back. Make sure you are in a position that feels comfortable to you. Adjust as you need to. And then I want you to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that and just focus on releasing with your breath that area right in the hip crease, right around there, of letting that go. That's all you do. That's all you need to do. We'll take a few moments here just so you can get the practice of this. Arms can be by your sides, palms up, shoulders relaxed. And begin to breathe in and breathe out. And it's that exhale that we really want to pay attention to. When we exhale, just release right in that area of your hip crease. Release down and feel the back body releasing down to the floor as well. And another breath comes in. And exhale.
So not only are you on your exhale releasing the psoas, on your inhale you're massaging the psoas because your diaphragm is moving as you breathe. So the diaphragm is actually doing a great bit of work here in terms of massaging the psoas. Your breath is a really powerful ally in this way of helping this part of your body to release, to let go, to have a different experience so that you feel more comfortable and move more easily in your day. So let's take a few more breaths. So ideally, you want to stay in this position for 5 to 20 minutes. Now you will notice a difference after one session of being here, one block of time of resting here. You'll most likely feel something has let go, something has shifted. So let that be encouragement that this is really a powerful thing for you to practice on a regular basis. So practicing today with me and coming back to this again and again and again will really serve your body, your posture, the comfort and stability of your body here. And will also support your running and your walking, and will create more ease in your body when you're sitting at your desk. So when you feel complete here, you'll simply bring the knees in towards your chest. Hands can go to the back of the legs or to your shins. And you'll just roll to one side and gently come up to a seat. So again, you can just be here for a few minutes to really make a difference in your psoas. And you can also be in this position that we're in for like 20 minutes. How sweet would that be to take all that time for yourself? So do what you can. See if you can increase the time just little by little each time you come to this practice, and just see the transformation happen over time. It will make a difference in your body and will really support whatever activities you do in your life. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will see you next time.